Biafra.
We know.
Raffle draw.
We know. We know.
BFR, Raffle Jingle. My people, follow who no road. His Excellency Simon Ekpanjoku. Na him they carry us enter Biafra. He dey play the show. No be lie. The good guy, Prime Minister of Biafra Republic Government, in exile, went there for Obodo Yibo, Finland. With him government, na him they do the wonder. Say make you join, follow up. He go sweet you for body. Freedom today, better for you and your pikin dem. I dey tell you, he can still bring ogbonge raffle draw with big money when you go win. I dey tell you, no be lie. Starting from on the 29th of November, go reach December 3rd. Now this thing dey happen 2024. And make I shock you, the money, it makes sense well. $20 and total winning prize $10,000. A first prize $5,000, third prize $2,000. BFR, no sit down, no sit down. Look, na dog name. They want from here gather money to build Biafra, where you they cry for sins. You go also win too.
Keep on fighting, yeah, ooh. Stop. Keep on fighting, yeah, ooh. Stop complaining, oh na na na.
Get ready, good people of Biafra and lovers of freedom all over the world, for this invitation announcement as we approach the December Biafran historical event in Finland 2024. The Biafran Redeclaration Sponsorship Committee and its members are inviting all Biafrans and friends for a mega fundraising this Sunday, October 20th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Biafran time. Always remember that the enemies understand what is coming and the wait for result. So the harder we push and support financially, the more the enemies tremble. The closer we get to the promised land, the tougher we expect it to be. Together we shall win, and the sun must surely rise this year. Biafran first, Biafran Exodus, and Biafran Republic Government in exile. Bon.
Shout out to them soldiers, where they find them, where they fight us. Stand strong and courageous, cause if you leave them, they will cage us. Shout out to them soldiers, where they find them, where they find us. Stand strong and courageous, cause if you leave them, they will cage us. Brother, it's a matter of time, truth to prevail, all your agenda. Keep on fighting, yeah, ooh. A referendum is a right, yo.
Bergi USA is welcoming our Obataobi, His Excellency Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ikpa, to United States USA for a town hall meeting, and Bergi, Texas will be presenting the Kola Nut, Iwa Oji. Therefore we are inviting wonderful people of Biafra, friends of Biafrans, well-wishers and all lovers of freedom to this great event.
This is Biafra Exodus Talk TV, a platform where we bring information that has to do with the Biafran government, a platform where we bring information that has to do with the restoration of independent state of Biafra. In this platform, we expose the Zoological Republic and their evil agenda against the Biafran people. If you have not yet shared this platform, please share this program to all platforms, to family and friends, to everyone you can reach. Make sure you connect somebody to this program. It is very important for us to send this message across. Fellow Biafrans and lovers of freedom across the world, we have come once again. Today, I'm going to share with you a very important video that was made in the conventional media in Nigeria. I want you to listen carefully and deeply. You are going to see the strong divide in Nigeria, why Biafra must exist. You are going to see the divisiveness in Nigeria. You are going to see the destructive diversity in Nigeria in this very program. Listen carefully and you will see the deep divide, why everybody must go their separate ways. Let's watch.
Because he ran foul of the law of the land by declaring Odua Republic, just like Nnamdi also did by declaring Biafra, sovereign state of Biafra. And Sunday Igboho had a military wing, just the same way that IPOB existed under Nnamdi Kanu. But the question is, when these people started the agitation and they got into the point that the military wing was flexing muscles, you remember they went to the State House of Assembly on a Saturday, hosting their flags and making trouble, but they were rounded up. Immediately they were rounded up. The first thing, every well-meaning elders in Yoruba land denounced them and said they are still in prison now, in Agodi prison. And that quelled that movement because they didn't get any support from their own base.
But Igboho is going ahead with the agitation.
Even writing petition to cast them out.
Igboho can write petition. You understand? Igboho can agitate. It's still within his rights. But today, you can't find an army around Igboho. You understand?
Are there armies around Nnamdi Kanu?
But IPOB is still claiming that they are offshoot of
IPOB, you know, is indigenous people of Biafra, which also have their own registration.
But they have been profiled.
And also recognized.
Wrongly profiled.
Wrongly profiled? Because a court also asked the federal government of Nigeria to pay a certain amount of money to IPOB for prescribing them here in Nigeria.
But what I'm saying is they are still being profiled as the military arm of this agitation for Biafra state. Sometimes they deny involvement in crimes in that region. But sometimes they own up. We have seen videos where they'll say that we are doing this. When this man was attacked, Ifeanyi, they said they were behind it. And that because Ifeanyi, you see, except that we don't want to be neutral about these things. I am not saying what Igboho did was right.
Nobody's saying that you're saying that.
I will not sit here and say that Nnamdi Kanu at a point was right in his agitation. But what I'm saying is, at the long run, if nations go to war, they still come back to round table to resolve issues. And how to resolve this issue and make sure that this young man, who has a family, who has children, who has wife, should be released.
You said something about...
And except you want to compound this, I think what should matter to us is how this man will be out of the DSS.
Then he said something about ego. And what I understood by that ego, I don't know if that is the perception you have, that Nnamdi Kanu has not...
I'm not saying Nnamdi Kanu has an ego. I said the government that held him. I gave that analogy based on the fact that government that held him would not want to be seen as acquiescing to all those people that are going in the morning with cameras and everything, journalists.
But the same government acquiesced to the demand to let Igboho go. That is the question we are asking. My personal, the point of it is that,
was there any visitation to Buhari before Igboho was let off the hook?
No, even if it was underground.
No, I'm asking you. But you also admit that it was possible that some people had gone underground.
Exactly. So,
you understand?
And we also understand that
why don't we encourage people?
That some Igbo people have also been going underground.
Even across the divide, you said Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbos are going to visit the government to ensure that it's released. They should continue.
So why would the government now not take the people that are coming underground, but now prefer to show off ego for those that are coming publicly? My question is, do you think, if you put both cases side by side, do you think Nnamdi Kanu is being persecuted?
Because politically persecuted, or
whether politically or legally? Because the same government...
If it's legally, it has to do with the law, and thank God a lawyer is here.
But this same lawyer said that the court of competent jurisdiction asked for Nnamdi to be released. So why hasn't the government released him?
What I'm saying is, it is wrong for government to still hold him on legal grounds.
And politically, is it right for them to hold him?
politically, it's best for the government to decide that.
So are we not working with the political rights or wrongs everywhere we have the justice, we have the rule of law in Nigeria, and we have the justice to be the only thing leading since we are a democratic state or nation?
I have said it here, and except we want to put another round of words into my mouth.
All right, now
Government.
All right, Barrister, let's get into it.
Yes, I think you see, these things are here. For me, it is pure selective amnesia. Legally speaking, first of all, let's go there. The Court of Appeal, the Federal High Court, discharged Nnamdi Kanu. The Court of Appeal also affirmed that decision of discharge, even though he was not acquitted. But when you are discharged, you are not acquitted, the court can still bring charges. I mean, the state can still bring charges against you. But in Nnamdi Kanu's case, when he was discharged, I said, go home. Court of Appeal. We were thinking, even if it's just 1 day or 2 days, obey that Court of Appeal order, release him based on, what the court has said. Because the Buhari AG, the AG Fed, Adoke, or what is it Adoke they call that young man, the AG during Buhari's time, said that it is the court that will determine Nnamdi Kanu's fate. No problem. What's his name again? Fagbemi came in and when asked about, he said it's the court that will determine Nnamdi Kanu's fate. The court decided and determined. I said, go. But they kept him after the court had made pronouncement, while they were trying to ask court to, look, obey court order. For 3 weeks, he was in the gallows of the DSS. And for that 3 weeks, the AG Fed had to move around to appeal that particular, appeal court, judgment. The Supreme Court of the land even said that the way he was brought into Nigeria was a legal way of doing things. But he only said that let that matter be taken back, to the lower court, where it's for proper trial, as the case may be. We felt as at that time that the Supreme Court, if we had some very brave, judges like I mentioned before, would have asked the young man to go home, then whenever discharge him, not acquitted. When you discharge him, I believe that the government will now come back with fresh charges and bring him properly before the court. But the Supreme Court now said, go back to that lower court, go and start your trial again, de novo, from the beginning. That is number one. Number two is that prominent people, Igbo people, met, Buhari, Ohaneze Igbo people, what's his name, Nwayanwu was there, even Emeka Anyanko has gone there, is it Kalu has gone there. Then you have this man, Ben Wabweze. Professor Ben Wabweze is like, like the one Akintoye we have in the Southwest. That's a professor like himself. But Professor Ben Wabweze is more known and prominent, with due respect to Akintoye, in the Nigerian political lithosphere. He also went before, Buhari. Then the Uwazirike, that is not the Maswab leader, but the elderly Uwazirike, who is late now, who was, the President General of Ohaneze Igbo, the whole world, when they said, President, my own son, please, if you can release Nnamdi Kanu, let me see him before I die. That was an emotional statement. And when we were thinking that Buhari will do something, or maybe the state will do something, he just laughed over it. And some months after the man made that statement, the man died. All those who clamored for the release of Nnamdi Kanu from the South, the prominent people are all late right now. If you look at the list, you know what I'm telling you. Then you now look at, let me tell you the reason why we are saying that the Buho and the Nnamdi Kanu's case is this. When this particular issue started, number one, immediately Nnamdi Kanu was, arrested, the whole of the Southeast was cordoned up with troops of, Operation One Thing, as they call them. Is it Pofada, as they call them? But when Igboho, before Igboho ran, to a Benin Republic, and those people who went to that place to hoist their flag, at the police station, they were arrested. Why was even Oyo State alone not cordoned off? And a special military whatever taking them, because they were still killing people inside the forest. They had to go out on the war against the Fulanis, as they said, open and close. Why did they not cordon off the whole of the Southwest the way they are doing the Southeast now? There's a special troop in the Southeast, that is creating problem. So when you create tension, that is the problem. Now, too, is this, let me tell you, Sunday Igboho escaped, let me use the word, he went to Benin Republic, he jumped bail, in fact, he jumped bail, because there was a court or whatever, he had to run away. Charges were there, he ran away. Now the Kanu's case was this. What the government said was that when, what's his name, Barry the Bay, took him on bail as a shorty, they said he jumped bail. He now ran, out of Nigeria. You understand? And what did he say? He used that particular, invasion of his father's house as an excuse for him to run away. Then if he had not run away at that time, that the soldiers would have killed him. That yes, he knew he was on bail, but he had to run away because the fact that, soldiers that were drafted to the Southeast to come and burn his father's house, frightened him and ran away. That was for me a very genuine and, germane reason. Now, when he left and government said he jumped bail, they now have to, use extramilitary, might to go outside of Nigeria to look for him, to, bring him back. They spent a lot of money, to bring Nnamdi Kanu back to come and face, what we are asking. Why are they not using the same method, for them against Sunday Igboho?
All right, let's get.
So these are the questions. I'm not being partisan, but I'm just being realistic.
Absolutely.
Because I have profiled this the number of times. Human rights angle, we have complained. International human rights, they have said, release this man, let him go. See, your constitution, you're going against your constitution. So myself, I feel is selective amnesia. That is just the truth of the matter for me.
Thank you very much, Barrister Asim Adams. Well, we have a virtual guest, Jide Ojo. Thanks for joining the conversation. Good morning to you. Well, you've been listening, and I like the fact that the barrister took us down memory lane. He reminded us of a few things. Now, I'm going to throw this very, very straight. Isn't this a case of we all are Nigerians, but some are more Nigerian than others?
Is that a question for me?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Please let the studio allow me to see you. I'm not seeing anything at the other end.
Okay, our engineers will get to work. I think it has something to do with the quality of the video, but our engineers are working on that one. So you can, they can put you on screen as against just having your voice. All right, can you see now? Can you see the studio now?
No, I'm not seeing anything yet, but I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, so our engineers will get to work. But while they're working on that, do you mind just going ahead?
Yes, I think it's double standard. Even though it wasn't this administration that granted Sunday Igboho the freedom, I believe you will recall that Sunday Igboho under Buhari was hounded and his house was raided in Ibadan. And he managed to escape to Benin Republic, where he was put on trial after he was trying to leave for Germany, himself and his wife. I think he was apprehended at the Benin International Airport and was jailed for like 2 years. But eminent Nigerians of Yoruba extraction, I believe, went to work and pleaded for leniency with the Benin authority, and that was how Sunday Igboho came back after the Tinubu administration has been inaugurated. That's the fact of the case. It wasn't as if the Nigerian government was the one that pardoned, quote and unquote, Sunday Igboho. Sunday Igboho was hounded. Someone was killed in that raid in his house in Ibadan. And a number of people were arrested, and he fought his way through the court, even while he was in Benin Republic, and he won all his cases in Nigerian court. But the Benin authority apprehended him, jailed him for like 2 years, and he was eventually released to go to Germany, where he, quote and unquote, hibernated till Tinubu government came to power. So Tinubu administration could not arrest him because he won all his cases in the Nigerian court. Even while he was in absentia, he sued the DSS and the security authorities of Nigeria. But having said that, and that's just setting the record straight about Sunday Igboho. Having said that, I still strongly believe that the solution to Nnamdi Kanu's release is a political solution. It cannot and should not be done singularly through the court. All the people I have known who were either militants in Niger Delta or the agitators in the Southwest, starting from the current Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, Gani Adams. Recall that Gani Adams under Obasanjo was apprehended and was in prison for years before Yoruba elders waded in and pleaded with Obasanjo administration to allow Gani Adams to go. So that was the one where I could say, matter of fact, political solution was deployed by the Yoruba elders. So it was in the case of Gani Adams, the current Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, the generalissimo of Yoruba race, that the political solution. But in the case of Sunday Igboho, it was actually international diplomacy by some Yoruba elders that eventually led to his release by the Benenu authorities. And eventually, like I said, he won all his cases in the Nigerian courts, and the facts are there. But in terms of Nnamdi Kanu, I also have agitated, I've advocated that a political solution is what will resolve the IPOB agitation. Don't forget that MASOB preceded IPOB before IPOB was founded and became the arrowhead of the struggle for Igbo political and economic emancipation. But let's also try to analyze what actually was IPOB agitation about.
That was actually the question I needed to ask you, Mr. Jide Ojo, because not just IPOB, we have also seen other people also agitate, even here in the South. Just this recent time, Onitire also, agitated. They went to Ibadan again to, hoist the flag and all that. And people are still agitating, and they have what they are clamoring for, which is marginalization, bad governance, and a whole lot more. Now, do you think with the arrest or this detention of Nnamdi Kanu, that the agitation is going to die down anytime soon?
Do I think the arrest and agitation what?
Do you think with the arrest and detentions that the agitations are going to die down soon? The people who are agitating, secessionists, do you think their agitation or their quest in any way is going to be mitigated or die anytime soon?
The truth, as I know it to be, is that agitations are, as a result, Albert Camus said the rebellion cannot exist without a feeling that somewhere in some ways you are justified. That's Albert Camus. Agitations, before you both said in, I was trying to lay the foundation, as I know it to be, of the IPOB agitation, which is that there was this perception of marginalization and discrimination against the Igbo nation and political exclusion. Now, if you look at the economic angle to it, successive governments have been trying to resolve the economic agitation. And that's why, even as against the initial freedom slip, I want to call it, by Buhari in 2015, that he cannot give same attention to those who gave him 95% of the vote. He cannot give similar attention to those who gave him 5% of the vote. And everybody felt it was referring to the Igbo nation. And obviously, people criticized him for making that statement. And we know the fact speaks that the second Niger bridge was completed by Buhari administration. Even when Jonathan was there, he didn't do it. So I think the economic issue has been looked into. I'm not saying that maybe sufficient attention has been paid, but even as we speak today, it's an Igbo man that is the Minister of Works. You will see that just a couple of months back, Tinubu administration signed into law the Southeast Development Commission. Just the same day he gave the Northwest Development Commission. So I'm just trying to calibrate what the agitation is about. That some of the grievances are being looked into.
Sorry,
But
Mr. Ojo.
The main issue is the political exclusion. For me, it's the political exclusion. Yes, I want to say something.
All right, yes, I want to say something. You said that there was a perception about marginalization. Don't you think it was real that the Igbo nation was clearly marginalized? And you just said that the second Niger bridge was completed during the tenure of Muhammad Buhari. Can you point to any other federal infrastructure that exists in the Southeast during the Buhari administration? Buhari had how many security heads in all the agencies? None of them came from the Southeast. Even in the present government, how many people from the Southeast are serving in this government? That wasn't the case during the Obasanjo and Jonathan and even Yar'Adua administration. So, like I said, I asked, was the marginalization not a reality in the light of the few things that I've just pointed out? And you talk about addressing those things, that the Minister of Works is from the Southeast. How many of the federal roads in the past 16 months have been constructed in the Southeast? Was it just perception or was it a reality?
I will still maintain that it's a matter of perception. Now, let me just answer in my own understanding. I said the one that is most prominent is the political exclusion. And I, seated there, have said to address issue of political exclusion of the Igbo nation, similar political engineering as was done for the Yoruba nation in 1999 should be brought to bear. I've written 2 commentaries in my column in The Punch to agitate for Igbo presidency. So I'm not an ethnic jingoist. And I'm maintaining that it's a perception because
Mr. Ojo, in one breath, you admit that the Igbos were excluded from the political heights of this country. And in another breath, you also admit that it was a perception. Is it not a contradiction?
It's not.
How?
I said, listen now, that's it. Let me answer you. You said, how? See, everyone who had been present, and I said the political exclusion is based on the fact that if you look at the issue of population and number of states, you will know that it will take a kind of political engineering for an Igbo to be president of Nigeria. And that is why I have said, in terms of winning the presidency of Nigeria, you cannot be mouthing ethnic jingoist slogan and think that they will work for you. And that's why I'm saying, let us bring in it's like what happened in Edo State during this last governorship election.